So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue, and we're back today with a roundup of the game week 5 from all the championship games. Now we started this fresh this season, and the reception was quite good. Blues fans like to look and listen to the games of the weekend, and kind of works as I guess a bit of a precursor because obviously we're going to play all these teams over the course of the season, so it's good to get insights and sort of their playing styles, what we think of the results, and we'll go from there. So, Dad. I'll go through it as much of an order as possible in terms of Friday, 12:30, Saturday games all the way through, and we'll have a little bit of back and forth of what we think of the results.
Yeah, but just before you do that, just some headlines, okay? So just pick out some headlines for this game week. I thought Ipswich's 5-0 demolition of Sheffield United on Friday was a particular standout. And what was a standout for me with that was the performance. You know, they looked like the Ipswich team that we expected. I thought Derby had a great result away at West Bromwich Albion, and also thought QPR's win at Wrexham was good. Blackburn winning at Watford, so there's some good away victories in there, plus the Ipswich one. We'll talk about our result in a minute, Birmingham City, and what happened to us. But I think the results in showing you that, and as we go through some of these, the Championship is exactly as we expected it to be.
Exactly. A few derbies as well, Dad. In terms of derbies, South London derby, Charlton versus Millwall, and obviously on the Sunday game this week was Southampton versus Portsmouth. So good. You know, we all love a derby game, don't we?
Yeah,
always,
we do. We do.
Okay, on the Friday game, Dad, you've just referenced it there in terms of the Ipswich looking like the old Ipswich that we recognised from a few seasons ago, or even before their Premier League campaign. I completely agree. You used the perfect word. Ipswich 5, Sheffield United 0. It's an absolute demolition, isn't it?
It is. I think Sheffield United were good for the first 20 minutes, to be fair, but Ipswich really looked like the free-flowing football that we expected of them back in the Championship. You know, when we saw them season before last, they looked a little bit, well, not a lot closer to that than they have done. So I think this will be the start of their season, I believe. Jadon Philogene scored a really, really good hat-trick. I think there was quite a few. Sheffield United looked all over the place at the back, and I think there was a few goalkeeper mistakes. I watched this game live on Sky on the Friday. Jack Clark got one and George Hurst got the other.
What was the goalkeeper doing for George Hurst's goal? Straight through his legs.
That
was poor.
I mean that is disappointing for a goalkeeper. But again, he would argue that why wasn't a defender trying to sort of get closer to him?
As a goalkeeper, you got to.
No, I'm not defending the goalkeeper at all. But I'm also, it was too easy, wasn't it? In fact, he got a second bite at it because he got the ball turned around and shot it under his legs as well.
But what I'd say, Dad, Philogene with 3 great goals. Yeah, all 3 of his goals were great. I mean, for me, I think the second one was the standout because he kind of took it past kind of 7 players in terms of like in their proximity on the pitch around him.
There was all good goals.
All good goals. But that second one for me personally took the highlights. But I don't think I've seen a Sheffield United team defensively this bad for many, many years.
They were poor, weren't they? They were poor. As I say, and Gus Hamer was on the bench. It's a very strange team selection. Yeah, Hamer was on the bench.
Well, Ruben Sellers at the time of recording has been sacked today, and the rumours are Chris Wilder's going back. Of course, by the time this goes out, Dad, that could have been confirmed. But the rumours are Sellers. Well, the rumours aren't. Sellers has been fired, and Chris Wilder could be going back. If I was Chris Wilder, I'd be sticking my middle finger up personally.
Well, he loves Sheffield United, doesn't he? And Sheffield United fans will be glad to have him back because he knows the Championship. He'll get them organised, and they'll get him better. But just to say, and this is a sort of a standout for Ipswich. 21 shots, 11 on target in that game. Wow, so it's really, really good.
And again, Dad, coming back to Birmingham City, I want to go forward like Ipswich do.
Yeah,
I want us to attack in that way.
So does every other Championship team.
Yeah, exactly. But they are to be admired going forward when they turn it on.
Yeah.
They're brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad, that South London derby, Charlton at home to Millwall, 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I watched the goals on this as well. And again, we all know Charlton are going to be strong at home, and they're a horrible team to play, aren't they? Because the way that Nathan Jones has them set up, strong, compact. This looked like a really good game actually in terms of there was lots of shots and chances. But Charlton scored it in the 40th minute, and then they had Kane Ramsey sent off in the 74th minute, and then Millwall got a late goal, 88th minute. Which is Bangura Williams got the
There's a great video online of the limbs in the Millwall end.
Yeah, well, it's a local derby.
They were going bananas. But it reminds us, when we were in the away end, Dad, and it just remember Blackburn away this season. When you're in the away end and it all kicks off, it's great, isn't it?
I think they'll be disappointed with that. I think they've done that, conceded a late goal in their last game. I can't remember exactly who it was against, but so they'll have to cut that out to get points, won't they? But in the end, I think based upon the stats, that seemed like a fair result.
Yeah.
But I think Charlton will be the most disappointed because they had two minutes to go and they.
Well, I saw Alex Neil's post-match interview on this, and he said it was a game of 2 halves. Charlton very much dominated the first half, and then Millwall kind of came into it and created their own chances in the second.
It did look like that on the highlights,
and that was interesting. But fair play to Charlton. A lot of people thought they'd be cut adrift at the bottom.
only 5 games in.
I know, but they're having a crack at it.
Yeah.
They're not getting demolished. They're not getting
I
annihilated
think,
every week.
I think they're going to be the team that nobody wants to play because they just disrupt, don't they?
Absolutely.
And they can play a bit themselves as well with the players they've got. So I think they'll be awkward fixture, Charlton. But 1-1 draw against Millwall.
Yeah, and that brings us on to the next 12:30 game, Dad, and that was Oxford 2, Leicester 2. And just to set you up on a bit of a loaded statement here, I think Rabbit will be happy, Dad. That's a point at home. Two home games in a row now. One against Coventry, one against Leicester. So it's not bad.
No, 2 good sides, that they've played, and we saw Leicester, didn't we, in our last game? They beat us 2-0 at the King Power. I think for Oxford, to get a home point against one of the heavily fancied teams. Will Lancashire scored again. He started off well, hasn't he?
He's on fire, isn't he?
Yeah, so he scored early.
I think he's proving himself to be a real talent, Dad, Lancashire. I think he could be the one. Sometimes players come through the academy system and they actually start to make moves.
Yeah,
he could be one of those ones that's a future Premier League star.
I really agree with that. From what I've seen of him, he's got the right physique as well for a young lad as well, isn't he? Yeah. I think the equaliser for Leicester was a Oxford mistake.
It was. Yeah, Brannigan passed it straight through
to Jordan Ayew, and he went through and scored. And then Oxford took the lead again. Samare scored an own goal in the 44th minute, just before half time. And then Aaron Ramsey was sent off, wasn't he, as well for Leicester in the
bad tackle.
Yeah. I think he warranted a.
It didn't. There wasn't much protest from Leicester players, and the Oxford players swarmed the ref. And even before you see the fallout, I looked at it and I thought that's got to be a red.
Yeah,
high foot straight through him. Yeah. Could have been nasty.
Yeah, sent him off, and then Pereira, he scored against us, didn't he? Pereira, he's a good player, and he scored in the 58th. It ended up 2-2. So I think actually looking at that, both teams will be satisfied with that. Oxford for the fact that they've drawn, but against a fantasy team, and Leicester for the fact that they've got the draw away with 10 men.
From the games, I saw all the games this weekend in terms of extended highlights and various bits. I always listen to manager interviews and check out social media. We live for football, don't we? We love it.
Yeah.
But this looked like the best game to me in terms of goals, red cards, mistakes being made, good goals being scored. It actually looked like a really good, entertaining, end-to-end kind of game. It looked really good. Yeah. As I said, I think both teams will be happy with that in the context of what happened during the game.
Yeah, I think so.
And that brings us on to another draw, Dad, and it looks like Preston have got themselves a great player with this Dobbin, and that's Preston 2, Borough 2.
He looked outstanding.
Good, didn't he?
He looked really, really good. Yeah, I think again, maybe Preston fan. Where's he come from? Where'd you get him from? Has he come from your youth team? Have you bought him? I don't know, but he looked outstanding, didn't he, Dobbin? He's one. If any other Birmingham fans or any other Championship club fans, are watching this, when you play Preston, have a look at this guy Dobbin. He looks quality.
He does.
He scored their first goal, didn't he? In the 22nd minute, and that was it till late in the game. And then Middlesbrough equalised. Matt Target, 72nd minute, had the second bite of the cherry, didn't he? And then. They went ahead again a few minutes after, 60 minutes after, Jordan Story in the 88th. And then Sonchi Hansen, we were interested in him, weren't we, in the transfer window. 90 plus 2 minutes equaliser. But I think with Middlesbrough as well, they clearly lost their 100% record. But that shows tenacity and grit, because I think Preston's going to be quite a tough place to go this season.
They're looking good, aren't they?
Yeah.
They beat Ipswich and Leicester this season so far.
Yes,
I think,
they have. Yeah,
they've done well. And drawn against Borough, because Borough are top of the league. I think if Borough played 5-1-4, drew 1.
Yes, so 1-4, drawn 1, lost none.
Yeah, exactly.
Preston are currently in 8th, 1-2, drawn 2, lost 1 on 8 points.
But look at who they've played. That's what's most impressive.
Yeah. So good. Looked like a good game that did as well.
Yeah.
4 goals, and I think Middlesbrough will be happy. Of course, they lost their 100% record, but they maintain their unbeaten start.
Everyone loves a last minute comeback as well, don't they?
Well, not unless it's against your team.
Well, no, of course not. But I mean, those Middlesbrough fans in that away end would have been going nuts, wouldn't they? Yeah, agreed, Dad. My takeaway was the Dobbin, performance, and it looks like a great because it wasn't just the goal he scored; he was causing problems down their left-hand side all day. Really good dribbling, taking it past the player. Again, kind of on my comment with Ipswich, I was like, why can't our players do this? Preston 2, Borough 2, and that brings on to our next game, Dad. That's Coventry 1, Norwich 1. Now, again, just to give you a bit of a loaded statement here, from what I saw of this, Coventry were very good. They kind of dominated the game, and if Coventry didn't equalise, I think a lot of Norwich fans and pundits were saying that would have been an absolute smash and grab. just get in and get out. But the funniest thing about this game was the equaliser from Hadji Wright in 90.
Yeah.
It could have had the Benny Hill soundtrack behind it. You
Yeah,
know, from a Norwich point of view, you know, really don't clear their lines very well. Cuts it across his own box.
I looked
and
at
then,
that.
And then it just scrappily trickles towards Hadji Wright in the middle.
I mean, the tackle that won the ball looked like a free kick to me. So because he went straight through the.
You think Norwich it was fouled?
I thought. Again, Coventry fans can correct me, and they're probably all going to disagree with me because they got their equaliser. But it looked like a very, very strong challenge.
Right, okay.
So their player went straight through the Norwich player, then it trickled to Hadji Wright, and he knocked it in.
Did anyone protest from the Norwich side?
I only saw the highlights. All I saw was Coventry celebrating.
Yeah.
But
again, Dad, coming back to your Borough comment, it shows grit, doesn't it? Hanging in there.
Yeah, I mean, that 90 plus 6 minutes that they got the lead. But I mean, Norwich were in the lead for a long time. Matthias Kistgarten.
Good goal.
Yeah, good goal. And he looks like, I think I can't remember which Scandinavian team they bought him from, but he's a big player as well, so he could have a good season for them. But again, looking at Coventry, just to show you their threat: 28 shots, 4 on target. So basically, they're always very
aggressive going forward,
very aggressive team. But 1-1 in the end. I think that's a draw against two good teams. So Coventry are highly fancied. I think Norwich are fancied to do quite well.
What's funny about Norwich, Dad? Haven't they lost all their home games, but they're undefeated on the road? So they've won 2 away and drew 1 away, but they've lost their home games.
I know they've lost to Millwall at home.
They lost to someone else as well.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they've lost twice at home.
It's funny, isn't it? Because obviously Norwich are renowned for being solid at Carrow Road.
Well, they're 10th. They're 10th in the table, so they're one place above us. Same points, same record: 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad, that brings on to our next one, and sadly, the bad news just continues for Sheffield Wednesday. That's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Bristol City 3.
Yeah, and again, I saw the goals on here as well. Again, very, very poor defending.
Knife through butter, weren't it?
Yeah, I mean, Bristol City have done well anyway. And they scored. I think they scored the second most goals in the league behind Coventry. But I saw the goals, and they all look like really poor Sheffield Wednesday defensively. And so Sheffield Wednesday didn't have a shot on target. And we know another team didn't have a shot on target this season, this week, which was our team. But they had 6 shots, but none on target. And Bristol City had 9 shots and 4 on target, but they scored 3 of them. I think from a Sheffield Wednesday point of view, Matt, I think that there's a lot of empty seats in there. I think the Sheffield Wednesday fans are voting with their feet, aren't they? And they're letting the own. It's a horrible position to be in there. You'll have the loyal fan. No, that's not fair, because I think all fans who support their club are loyal. But you'll have those fans that will go and keep watching their team and trying to give them some support. Those who are already invested in season tickets will still go. But it's a tough old season for them, and I hope they get it sorted out, because the only way they're going at the moment is down, and down heavily.
Yeah. The only I say consolation. The only thing a Sheffield Wednesday fan has to brag about at the minute is that Sheffield United are below them, 23rd and 24th. But what kind of brag is that?
That ain't going to last long, though,
no,
is
it's
it?
not.
It ain't going to last long.
Especially if by this time Chris Wilder has been confirmed at Sheffield United, because that'd be a big appointment. But
fair play to Bristol City as well, before we move on from this, because a lot of people saw that they made the playoffs last season and they lost their manager to Norwich, Liam Manning, and wondered what they will do this season, and they've clearly started very, very strongly. I think they're second. Are they second in the table now?
Are they?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't think they're that high. Stoke are second.
Bristol City. Oh yeah, it's third. Sorry, so Middlesbrough top, Stoke second, and Bristol City third.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, Dad. So that brings us on to, and this is our team's performance of the week, and of course we have a video that we released yesterday, full breakdown and full overview of that. But that's Stoke 1, Birmingham 0. Let's keep this one nice and short.
What's the next one? we like I say, if you want to go and have a detailed look, go and have a look at our post-match video. But overall, very disappointing, and we just felt that in that game we were too predictable. Didn't create any shots on target whatsoever, and it was a fairly sort of straightforward victory, I believe, for Stoke. So we have to change things, and I don't really want to go into too much detail about that, because we've already spoken in detail, haven't we, about this?
I think I can sum it up quite quickly, Dad. Not aggressive enough, not assertive enough going forward, not dominant enough, didn't assert ourselves in the game. We lose, we move on.
Yep, let's move on.
But we do have to move on and create chances moving forward, because that is our big red flag at the moment.
It is.
And that brings us on to our next opponent, Dad, at St.Andrews next Saturday at 12:30, and that's Swansea 2, Hull 2.
Yeah,
more last minute drama.
It was. I'm just looking for this in my list. I know Ollie McBurney, he got one of the goals, didn't he, against his old team.
First goal was lovely. He went down their left hand side and he cut it round the back all the way through to Ollie McBurney. It was just a lovely ball.
Yeah.
And again, I looked at it and I thought, oh, I'd love for Blues to do stuff like that. Just a nice whip round. There's a couple of goals I've seen this weekend, and it's easy to do when you're watching other games. And I say light-heartedly, I would think, oh, I would love for us to do that. But it was a lovely ball around the edge, and Ollie McBurney sort of tapped it in, really. But yeah, last-minute drama, Dad, where Hull equalised to make it 2-2.
I mean, that Ollie McBurney goal was an equaliser because Swansea had taken the lead, hadn't they, just before half-time. Vlopnik got their first goal. And then they went in the lead just after half-time. Ronald, he started well. I think he scored 3 goals now. And then you mentioned that late 90-plus 7-minute equaliser. So again, point each for both those two teams. So I think maybe obviously Swansea will be disappointed when you can see it that late.
Yeah, absolutely, Dad. And that brings us on to a team who have now got Taylor Garden Hitman on the books, and that was a good result for Blackburn as well. But it was Watford 0, Blackburn 1. Dad, did you see any of this?
Yeah, I saw the goal.
Nice goal, wasn't it? Tidy, good passing.
It was. I think Watford will be disappointed. I mean, they've not started the season well, and we know that their owners are not tolerant at all. I don't know who's their manager. Watford. I can't remember his name.
Good question.
No,
it's probably been changed since the last time we saw it.
Yeah, probably changed by the time this goes out.
They are the club that changes their manager a lot, aren't they, Watford?
Yeah, but it's Morishita got the goal just after half time. I think Watford will be concerned about that result. Although Blackburn did win the week before, didn't they?
Why are Watford playing in blue? Is it a memorial kit of some kind or something? I couldn't get used to it. On my eyes, I was like, why are Watford at home playing in blue?
I don't know.
Couldn't get my head around it.
I've got no idea.
It was really strange not seeing them in yellow. And obviously Blackburn have kind of like a goldy looking away kit. And I thought, this is in reverse. This looks odd.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, nice goal from Blackburn, Dad. I really like that little one-touch passing, little movement, through ball,
they've
really
done well
nice finish.
since they lost against us. I think they've won 2 away games. They won this one, they won the week before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're starting to show a bit about them. And
But they weren't that bad against us, really. I mean, they didn't set the world alight, but they made it difficult for us.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Blackburn will do. They'll play and frustrate. They know the opponent they're playing.
Yeah.
Okay, and that brings us on to, in my opinion, the surprise result, and that was West Brom 0, Derby 1. I was not expecting this. I mean, John Eustace just loves playing the baggies, doesn't he?
He does. And one thing we know about John Eustace, he sets his teams up and he doesn't mind playing out of possession. So they had 33% possession, 4 shots and 1 shot on target, which was the goal.
But, Dad, we said this in the Stoke post-match video for Blues, and we say it doesn't matter how many possession is. If you can get a win, you can get a win.
Yeah, I mean, Albion had 18 shots and 3 on target to 4 on 1, and they lost the game 1-0 with 33% possession. So, yeah, I mean, Andres Weimann, late goal, 84th minute. They've got a habit of scoring late goals, Derby, haven't they? I think Derby are going to be fine this season, and I think that's their first win this season.
Yeah.
And I think they'll get many more. But that's a good win against Albion, because Albion won at Stoke, didn't they, last the week before? I think Albion will be very, very disappointed with that. Is that Ryan Mason's first defeat? I think it probably is. Let me have a quick look at the league table. So that puts Albion down to 5th. Is their first. They've won 3, drawn 1 now, lost 1. And for Derby, it's taken them up to 19th, their first win after 2 defeats, 2 draws, and then a win. So
I'm going to call it that. I reckon Derby are going to finish bang on 12th.
Right in the middle.
Straight right on the bang of mid-table.
I think their fans would probably settle for that.
That's what Eustace does.
Yeah.
That's what Eustace does.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, and that brings us on to another game, which it didn't surprise me. Well, actually, you said in the start it was a surprise. I mean, I guess it was a surprise in the context of them being pretty strong at home. I say pretty strong, very strong at home last season, but obviously we're at a different level now, and that's Wrexham 1, QPR 3. Great goal by Kone, by the way.
Yeah.
Really good finish.
Yeah, they haven't started off well, Wrexham, have they? Kone's scored their second goal as well, but Conor Cody own goal for QPR's first on 33. Then they made it 2-0 just before half-time. Richard Kone, he's done well since he's been there, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And they've still got Poku to come back in yet as well. He's still injured, isn't he?
What's mad about this, though, they lost to Coventry 7-1 or 7-0. How can a team go from so polar opposites?
But they beat. They won. That's their second win in a row, didn't they? Because I can't remember who they won against last week. But Kiefer Moore scored again. He's really started well for them, hasn't he? I think
he was born to play for Wrexham with the way they play.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, he was. Yeah. He got one back in the 67th, and then Roman Burrell finished off in the 75. So that result really, I think it's really started to push QPR further up the table. They're just level on points with us now, just 1 place below us. Considering they lost 1 game 7-1, they've only got a goal difference of 2 less than us.
Right.
So obviously they are now in 12th. Wrexham are down in 21st. It's early days. I mean, they've won 1, drawn 1 and lost 3.
I still think with who Wrexham have pulled in, they'll be fine. It's a bit like Blues over the last 2 years in terms of there has been a lot of turnover. It just takes a bit of time for that team to click.
But I think that they've actually seen as well, like we knew would happen, is that this Championship is unrelenting. You know, it's not like League One and League Two. And we know about League One last season. This is a tough
quality is quite a bit higher, isn't it?
I think Wrexham will be fine.
Yeah, same.
I just think that they obviously at the moment are just finding their feet.
Yeah. I put money on the line. Wrexham will finish bang on 11th. I'm joking. But that brings on to our Sunday game, Dad.
Yeah.
Another derby. And that's Southampton versus Portsmouth, which ended in a stalemate, 0-0.
It did, didn't it? And all I can do really is look at the stats because obviously no goals there. But
it only finished a couple of hours ago from when we were recording, so I've not had a chance.
It looked pretty close. I mean, both teams had 1 shot on target. That tells you it was a cagey game, obviously.
Derby.
Yeah, typical derby. Portsmouth had 11 shots. Southampton had 9. What I would say about Portsmouth, I've said this before, I like the way that they're building Portsmouth. You know, they sort of go under the radar.
In the shadows a bit.
Yeah, but they've started really well. I mean, they're 2 places above us. They're in 9th at the moment. They've won 2, drawn 2, and lost 1. They came into the Championship last season, so they know the Championship now. I might put my head on the block a little bit here and suggest that they could potentially push for the playoffs. Portsmouth. I just think that their manager John Machinio, he's almost like a mould of Kieran McKenna in terms of the what type and style of play he's got. Clearly, Portsmouth haven't got the level of players yet as Ipswich, but they're building nicely, Portsmouth. And when you have a team that has a nucleus and they know each other and they're playing regularly and they know their system, they can do a lot of damage. So I think they're going to have a good season, Portsmouth. Southampton have started very poor, haven't they? I mean, that draw puts them in 15th. They've won 1, drawn 3, and lost 1 of their first 5. So they've only lost 1, but they've only won 1. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword for them. But again, they're highly fancied, aren't they? Southampton.
They're going to be fancied from being a relegated Premier League team, aren't they? Yeah. Just from a financial point of view of parachute payments, they know the league. I mean, they did well the last season. They got relegated, didn't they? They went back up through the playoffs and they beat Leeds in the final, which no one was expecting. So
I think, like you've mentioned before, though, Matt. Just one more final point is I think that this year, this Championship is literally wide open.
I agree.
I don't think there is any. Maybe Ipswich
when they get going
will get going.
But
I don't think apart from them, I don't see any outstanding teams in there.
No.
So I think this is going to be a very, very interesting season. This one.
I agree because even like I dubbed Coventry to be up there this season, and I think they will be absolutely playoffs minimum. But they do drop the odd clanger, like they drew against Hull, they drew against Norwich, and like last minute wins. If you want to be pushing, you have to be winning those games, I think. But by the way, that's not me knocking them. I think they're going to be good this season. And like, Sheffield United clearly are going through a bit of turmoil. They're supposed to be strong. Southampton, in my opinion, with Leicester, don't look as strong as they did when they came down the previous few seasons. As you said, Dad, I think when Ipswich get going, they'll be the standout for me. But I think there's a chance here for a few normal, stable Championship teams to step up to the next threshold.
Yeah.
Again, your Bristol Cities could push on, your Stokes could push on, your Norwiches could push on, your Swanseas could push on. There's a couple of there's a chance here for some Championship teams to push up, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it's wide open. But we were 5 games in now, and there's only 3 unbeaten teams. Middlesbrough, Bristol City, and Coventry. They're the only teams that haven't lost a game, and that's after 5 games. So it just shows you that this is going to be, a very tight league once again. And I think, but this season you haven't got your Leeds, you haven't got your Burnleys. Sheffield United were up there for a lot of time, and they were like right at the top. And clearly they've started. But if they've changed manager, we'll see a big change in them as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Dad. Anything final before closing?
No, that's it. No, enjoyed the game week apart from our result.
I was going to say it makes it a lot better when we win, don't it?
It does.
But of course, we play Swansea next week, so interesting to see their 2-2 draw against Hull. Watch some of their goals and sort of. It's nice watching the highlights in some of the games because we can scout for next week, can't we? And see strengths and weaknesses, that sort of thing. But as always, Birmingham City supporters, we would love to hear from you. And any other supporter from any other club, maybe you've seen the thumbnail, maybe you've seen these videos before, we'd love to hear from you as well. As long as you keep that comment polite and respectful, no foul language, no swearing, that would be absolutely great. If you like this video specifically, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and check us out on our social media channels. We have an X page, we have an Instagram page, and we're also over on Spotify, so you can listen and watch us over there. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and press that bell icon so you get notified every time we post. And myself and Dad will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.